Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Unfiltered. This is a special episode, and we thought we're going to do this. We're going to do something different today. So we thought, you know what? I'm going to bring in the great man because he's just come in there, and there he is. Andy, how you going, mate?
I've been better, bro. I've seen better days, to be honest.
Yeah, so explain why we're doing it this way and explain what's happened.
Mate, I'm sick as a dog. Simple as that. I don't know, man. I hit a brick wall a couple of days ago, and yeah, I'm sick as, bro. But we're here. I'll stick around for as long as I can.
It's good that you came on because, as I said, yesterday you rang and you go, listen, I can't come over because I'm fucked. And then you go like, I don't want to get you sick, which is fair enough, you know. But then you go, we'll do this. And I thought, oh, that's a good idea. You know, we'll do that. And then you message me today and you go, I can't do it. I'm that sick. And right. I go, fair enough. So, you know, like, and then we decided to do it. And I did find someone else to come on. So we'll get him on shortly. I think everyone's going to be happy, whoever's going to come on. We haven't seen him for a while. And yeah, and we'll start talking a little bit of, let's introduce him. Look who's here. Emmanuel, how are you, my friend?
G'day, gentlemen. Rocco, Andy, how are we?
How you doing, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Long time, but nice to be back. Rocco, you're looking well?
Of course, I'm always looking well. I reckon I'm like a fine wine, man. I reckon I get better as I get older, mate. Like, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, why not? Good on you, mate. That's the way to believe it.
So, how are you, bro? How are you going?
Mate, yeah, I'm doing okay, I suppose. You know, it's been it's been good. I've taken a bit of time away from the limelight, if you want to call it that. But it was nice to hear from Rocco. I hadn't spoken to Rocco for a while, and he said, Andy, the star is not feeling too well, man. I tell you what, you've got the voice of an American DJ. Yeah, tell you what,
DJ too.
Yeah, it's that deep voice. They seem to like it, that Barry White type of thing. So yeah, it could be something on the cards for you, mate.
Just got to get sick all the time.
That's it. And I'm going to keep the tradition, Andy. Right, I'm going to have my drink. I do the Drambuie.
Nice.
Bit of
I'll go get my cough syrup.
I thought I was the only Drambuie drinker in Melbourne, Rocco.
This is
good stuff, isn't it?
It's a nice little drop to Drambuie. Beautiful.
Yeah, very, very nice drop. Very nice drop.
What's been happening? What have you been up to?
Yeah, what's been going on with you, man? You didn't show up near the end of the year, and so you had some stuff going on, and
yeah. Look, it's you know, it's been a bit tough for a couple of months, Rocco. You know, unfortunately, I had to come to terms with my father and his diagnosis of dementia. So that sort of was a big kick in the gut. And, of course, you know, at the time, one of our viewers lost a loved one who suffered from dementia, and it's a terrible disease. It's a disease that I think families do suffer. I suppose the person who is diagnosed with dementia doesn't know any better, I suppose. And it's, you know, it's one of those things. But, you know, it's good that there's a lot of support out there for people who have loved ones who suffer from dementia and depression and anxiety and, you know, a variety of different diseases that unfortunately, you know, can play with the mind. And no, it's just we sort of had to go through some rough roads, but we've come good at the end. We've been able to help Dad to get the right care that he needs, and it's just good support for the family. But I think it's important for people not to be afraid to open up and reach out and speak to people about that cruel disease, and there are a lot of people who do go through it, and the good thing about it is there's Dementia Australia, which at first I had no idea about it, but I did get in contact with them, and some great support. There's some great people who know about it quite a bit, and who were able to pretty much explain things to us, because it's when you look at it, you really come to a shock with it. But full credit to Dementia Australia, who anytime if anybody goes through what I went through, and if they got any loved ones or friends, definitely reach out to Dementia Australia. So, but but we're all good now, Rocco, and we're sort of in a happy place. So it's good. That's good.
It's good. I asked you this before, and I'll ask you again. And so you've had to put him in a home now, because looking after him, it's hard. As much as you want to look after someone, there comes a point where you're just not capable. You're just not giving them the help they need. You know what I mean? Because you used to tell me that it's almost a 24-hour thing with the dementia. Because I mean, at one stage he disappeared, didn't he?
Yeah, well, yeah, pretty much. He did disappear. He walked out of the house, and we didn't even realize, and it was just how he did it. To walk through the front door. He's walked past 5 of us to walk through that front door. We had no idea until we got the knock on the door at 5 a.m. from an ambulance, and they said, "Does this bloke belong to you?" And I was like, "Hang on, let me go have a look at his room." And he's not there, and then all of a sudden, he's out in the ambulance, and he's looking at you, oblivious to the whole thing, and he's like, "Hello," and you think to yourself, you know what? At least he's safe. But it's can you imagine what you would go through if you were to go and check up on him, and all of a sudden you see he's not there, and you'll go crazy. You'd be ringing the police, you'd be getting people all over, trying to find him. But it was at the end that we were very lucky. And ambulance it was an actual homeless person who sat there talking to him for hours, and then realised, hang on, this bloke, it doesn't seem like he's actually homeless. He seems like he's got a family, because he was talking about his family, but he didn't know where he was living. So, but it was nice that this homeless chap, which we tried to reach out and find out where he was, who he was, because we really wanted to, say a big thank you to him, and and see if we could maybe help him and try and support him in some way. But we weren't able to get any information from the ambulance. But my dad's one of those lucky people where there's been a happy ending, and there was a pretty quick happy ending. If there's some tragic stories where people lose their parents for days, months, thinking that that's the end of it, and it just happens to be that someone sees them and doesn't realize, because they're speaking gibberish, because they don't know where they live, they don't know who they are, they don't know any family members. We were just lucky that he had a tag around his neck that had the details, and that's what pretty much helped us. So very important that things like that, you become aware with it. But no, it was hard. It was very hard, and we're very fortunate that we're able to put him in a home now where there's a lot of Greek speaking people, so he's going to be able to relate, and and it's and he seems happy. It's because he's got that care, that, as you said, that 24-hour care. It's one of those things where people don't realize you go to bed and you're sleeping with one eye open, because you're thinking, is he going to run off for you again? You put alarms on the doors. As soon as the door opens, the alarm goes off in order to be able to jump out of bed and say, hey, where you going, buddy? And the thing is, you can't chain your family in the house, because that's not safe also, because you hear of families getting trapped in the house because of a house fire and other type of things. So it's just, but it's a good happy ending for us, and we've got Dad now in a home, as you mentioned, and he's getting all the help that he needs, and I think he's starting to enjoy it now, because he's getting a lot of attention. Not that he wasn't getting attention from us, but he's getting a lot of attention from people that all of a sudden he says, "Oh, these have become my good. They've got some good friends." So yeah, so it's hard, but it's good. It's been good for us. Yeah.
You're getting
Crazy,
a lot of
bro.
love from the chat there. So thanks everyone.
Yeah.
I've just been putting up the
Yeah.
messages and that. There's a lot of people that, that either have gone through it or, like there's someone that they know. It's one of the worst diseases. Like you said, like the person involved doesn't know what's going on. He's fine, actually. He's probably fine because, like he can't remember anything, So for him, everything's fine. It's everyone around him that gets hurt by it, and so it's hard. And lucky, like I was saying this about putting them in a home. How was that, Manny? Because it's still a hard thing. I know he's going to get help, but we're being I'm sure a lot of people like this, but being Italian, and I'm sure with with Andy, and also you look after your parents as long as you can. Like, I don't care what I need to do, but then it gets to a stage where you're just doing him a disservice. You're doing him a disservice by not putting him in there. How was that like? You're not abandoning him, but I don't know.
No.
Like you feel like you do a little bit.
Yeah. Look. For me, it was. I was more, looking at my kids, because my kids are very close with my father, and especially my daughter, and and she said, I don't want you to stress. You're only around the corner. I'll come and see you every second day. We can have our chit chats. And we can go for a walk down the gardens of the area there. So we need to remember that, as you mentioned, even though it's not customary for us Italians, Greeks, the Lebanese, and a lot of other they like to look after the elderly, but when you know that they're in a safe place, and you can go and see them, and that's very important, because I can tell you now, Rocco, I've heard some tragic stories where they've put them in a home, and basically said, I'll see you tomorrow, and that's the end of that, and you hear some stories, some sad stories, where one of the ladies is close to where my dad's staying, the room there, and she said that my daughter said she's going to come and see me tomorrow. And then one of the nurses came past and she said, daughter left her just over 3 years ago.
Wow.
And hasn't come to see her. But she still believes in her mind that tomorrow is coming. So, they're really sad. They're really sad stories. So, but yeah, it's I think it's we don't realize that we need to look after the people who looked after us growing up as kids, and it's and it's important, and I know we get caught up with the everyday of life, we work, family, this and that, but sometimes it's good just to stop and smell the roses and realize that life is too short, and just appreciate them, and appreciate that little bit of time you have still with them. I lost my mother 13 years ago, and there's not a day that goes by that I don't think of her, and you just got to learn to appreciate, and as I said, just really take the time to spend the time as much as you can with them. And the other thing I was going to say is that with the dementia itself, it can be, and it is a nasty disease, and you can have different types of dementias, and my father is one of those happy-go-lucky people where he'd sit there and he'd be watching TV, and some news presenter would be on the TV, and she'd smile, and he's thinking, oh, she's smiling at me. Hey, come and have a look. She's smiling at me. He goes, you can go now, because I'm, we're just basically getting to know each other. And I think to myself, it's sad. It's sad that we see that, but we then realize that, they don't know. That's just, the mind is so cruel that they start to forget things. So, it's hard, but as I said, there's a lot of places like Dementia Australia that you can reach out to, and even if you go and see your local doctor, they are able to provide you with the information that you need. But so it's so it's definitely something that people shouldn't be afraid to reach out if they need the help. Definitely don't be afraid to reach out if you need the help.
There you go.
It's a bastard of a disease.
Yeah, she says, right. hereditary. Yeah, it's 50-50 chance if your parents had it. Wow, there you go, man. Like it's pretty common. So,
Yeah.
There you go.
Did you guys know? Did you guys know that it's up 400%? Cases of dementia are up 400% for people aged between 30 and 44
Wow.
since the last time they did the study. 400%. Yeah.
Wow,
So
that's
pretty
bad.
crazy.
Man. It is crazy, and yeah, it's one of those things. It's, as I said, man, it's like a real bad disease because, as I said, the person doesn't know, but the people around them are really suffering. You know what I mean? And to lose your mind. I mean, at the end of the day, that's all we've got. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? You got your memories and your mind. Imagine losing all that. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's tough, man. We've got a lot of people here who sad disease. Our nan and then mum both passed because of dementia. Nurse nan until the end, and mum had to eventually see out her days in a home during COVID. Sadly, we will not. That is sad. That is sad, Michael. Very sad. That COVID did that to a few people, where people passed away, and they wouldn't let their relatives or their close ones go in to see them. I thought that was a tragedy when that happened, because I kept saying, if that was me and I want to go in there, what's it to you, right? If I can go in there and see him, like imagine trying to stop you, Andy, to try to go in and see one of your loved ones, and they're saying, no, you can't go in because of this imaginary disease.
Bro, what do you mean? So my mum, ever since dad passed away, every single day, my mum had to go to the cemetery to visit my dad. And she still does every single day. During COVID, when they locked up the cemetery, first day, my mum started freaking out. Look, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I took her there with bolt cutters and I cut a hole in the fence for her. I go, let's go. And she just kept using that. And she'd go like after hours, sometimes early in the morning. And you can't, bro. I can't believe that happened. Like, I understand like why, but I don't understand why at the same time. You know, like
I'm with you, man. I don't understand why either. You know what I mean? It was shocking at the time. I still can't believe it happened, and especially because now we find out a lot of it was rubbish, right? And let's be honest, a lot of it was rubbish. You know, there's all these conspiracies. Who knows what's true and what's not true? But what we do know, what they made it out to be, it wasn't that. And that's unfair on society, man. That was unfair. They kept us locked up. And yeah, so who knows what's going to happen next? I mean, I've through my history channel on that, I've researched a few things, and I had a look at like the Black Death and the Spanish flu, and that was, I did a little thing about the 5 worst diseases, right? And they were some real diseases, and I don't think they were as harsh with them as they were with COVID. Yeah. Like looking back, you know what I mean? They weren't doing as much then than that they were now. So it's just a weird thing, man. I'll put out the link if anyone wants to join in.
You know what? So like with dementia, as common as it is, very rarely is it mentioned. Like you rarely see it in movies, you rarely see it in TV shows, but it's such a real thing that a lot of people deal with. And the one show that I think kind of pointed out just how sad it is, right? And they played it perfectly. Is when our favorite show, Rocco, The Sopranos, with Junior Soprano. And I don't know if you've seen The Sopranos, Manny, but
I have, yeah.
So yeah, when Junior, you know, you see him regress as the show goes, and then I think in his very last scene with Tony, when Tony visits him at the home, he doesn't know who Tony is, and Tony asked him, he goes, "Do you know who you were? Like, do you remember anything about who you were?" And he said, "No." And he told you know, you and my brother, you guys ran Jersey, and you know, he's like, this thing of ours, like, you know, like, and he had no idea. And Tony was like, "Do you even love me? Like, did like he was upset, and it would be so frustrating. Like,
right.
you know, like you have to remove your personal feelings out of it, like, because they don't know, like you said, Manny, they don't know.
Yeah.
They
So
don't.
yeah,
They don't.
it would
They
be
don't.
it's hard on everyone.
They
You
don't.
know,
Yeah.
it's hard on everyone.
Yeah. And it was it was funny because there was a story about a elderly chap that went to visit his. He had a medical appointment, and every 5 minutes he was looking at his watch. And the receptionist noticed he was looking at his watch every 5 minutes, and she said, "Look, is everything okay?" And he says, "Oh, I've got to be somewhere at, I think he said, at a certain time, because they were serving. I'm having lunch with my wife." And he was in a bit of a panic anyway. And so because he was running late, she actually said to him, "You know what? I'll drive you to wherever you've got to have dinner with your wife." So he drove her to an actual, home where she was staying. And when he walked in there, she didn't even know who he was. And the receptionist said to him, "But who is she? She doesn't know who you are." And he said to her, and he said to the receptionist, "I've been married to her for 55 years. It doesn't matter whether she knows who I am. I know who she is." Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so he, as far as he was concerned, she may have not remembered who he was, but he still knew that was his wife. So as you said, Andy, it's cruel for those who do not suffer from that disease, but those who are suffering from the disease, I can tell you that they're in a happy place in terms of, they don't realize, they don't realize that, that they're starting to forget things, or they're starting to look at things differently. It's just the mind is, but they remember things, 30 and 40 years ago. Like my father remembers things when he was a 15-year-old kid. He remembers things when he was in his mid-20s. Like it was yesterday, and yet you ask him, what did he have for lunch, and he looks at you and says, "Have we had lunch yet?" So
it's that short-term memory that they lose, which is, and
yeah.
you're right. I've heard where they start remembering the past like it's yesterday, but they can't remember what happened today. Memories it's an amazing thing. Like the one fact I know about memory, right, which freaks me out. I don't know if I've told you this before, right? With memory, you don't actually remember the events that happen, right? So what happens is every time you remember, when an event happens, the first time you remember it, you remember that event, right? The next time you remember it, you remember what you remembered. And then it continues on. So you don't remember the actual event, you remember the new memory of remembering the event, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then every time you remember it, you remember it's a new memory. And that's why over years, your memory can change, because it keeps changing a little bit. It's like, and that's why, people who give eyewitness accounts, it's not a credible thing in court, because even after a few weeks, man, like you don't remember exactly what happened, So it's fascinating. So by the time you remember something 20 years down the track, you don't actually remember the original. You'll remember 100 times down, and it could have changed a little bit every single time, So
it's like editing. It's editing, isn't it?
Editing every time, and then that's what you remember, and you think that's real. That's absolutely real to you, yeah. So so the mind is just an amazing thing, man, and yeah, we don't know nothing about it. Rocco sounds like Rocco explaining MKR. I don't know what that means, but yep, that's me, mate. I feel drunk trying to process that. I feel drunk trying to tell you that, right? But I think I got it. I think I got it through the way I got it in my head. I tried to get it out, and I think I got it out correctly. But so So there you go. Yeah. So it's a fascinating. Again, I'll put out the link if anyone wants to join, and you can join. As I said before, mate, if you want to have a go at me for anything I said or Andy, go for it. Or if you just want to have a discussion or you want something to talk about or just say hi, jump in, right? And you can have a chat to us. I've got something I want to talk about. I saw this the other day. I don't know if it's recent. It must be recent. But there's something that happened over in America, right? And what happened was it was at a train stop, right? And you had one of those like security guards who just manned the train stop, you know, and maybe give information out and that. And this lady's on her phone, right? And she's about to step out, and he grabs her and pulls her back in. And if you look, I wish I could show the vision, but it wouldn't let me, right? So he drags her. I'm telling you, he was like millimeters away from dying, right? Pulls her out, saves her, you know. Anyway, she sues him, sexual harassment.
Of course she does.
She sues the guy for sex. Now, that the judge, like in the clip, the judge went psycho at her, saying, I can't believe it, you know, that you actually are doing this, you know. But she actually put in a claim. They went to court. She had a lawyer and everything, and then say it was sexual harassment. And the lawyer was saying it doesn't matter in what circumstance, you should always respect people's privacy. And I looked at that and I went, my dad was right. We need a wall, right, where we just clean out a few people, because this is getting ridiculous, bro. If this is the case, right, that you get your life saved, and then what do? You go to sue because someone makes wants to make some money out of it. I don't know where we're at anymore, man. I just don't know where we're at anymore.
That's crazy.
I think it's sad. I think it's sad because people don't realize that had he not saved her, what is the consequence? Well, she would have been, obviously she would have been run over.
She didn't even thank him.
Oh no, she sued him. She would have been obviously killed. The witnesses who would have been there watching that would have been just completely tormenting them mentally. So you imagine the effects, and I'd love for in that situation where you've got 1,000 train drivers, because I can talk about train drivers because I can relate with train drivers, where they could walk into that courtroom and then just try and put just a little bit of common sense into that woman's brain to understand. You understand that it's not a silly thing. How drivers who have witnessed a fatality and have had to deal with it mentally, how it's affected them, and all of a sudden you got some. It's ridiculous, And you know what they say, that it only happens in America because it wouldn't happen in any other country. Yeah,
probably it probably start happening here. But you're right about the train driver or the tram driver. The one thing people don't think about is the driver, right? A lot of times in this situation, right? Now, in that situation there, I'm just thinking about it. It is just as bad for that tram driver, even though he didn't hit the person, because what happens is the emotion you go through before like a near miss. We call them near misses, right? When you have a near miss, you go through exactly the same emotions as you do when you hit somebody, right? Because the emotions are exactly the same until that moment, that the accident happens, right? But up to that moment, you go through everything, right? And now that train driver actually went through trauma.
Yeah.
Was traumatic for that, even though, because he would have seen it and freaked out and tried to put on the brakes, and then the thing, and then gets pulled out. So he would have gone through the whole thing. But no one cares about that. He's had a near miss, right? It doesn't really matter. He's all right. You know what I mean? Imagine.
Could he sue her?
Yeah, I suppose he could have. Why not?
I mean,
imagine he has 2 or 3 of them, and they build up, bang, 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 and all of a sudden you become like this like a bit of a bloody, how do you say, like you're bloody absolutely a crazy fool, because now all of a sudden you're jumping at shadows, and that's the whole thing. But yeah, man, that's the world we live in, man. Hey, listen, well, I haven't got rid of it. I still got the dong. All right, and we got Nick Capsalis for the $5. Thank you very much. What the government did during COVID was a violation of human rights. People deserve to see their families. 100%, man. It's my family. I do whatever I want to do, man. You can't stop me from. Well, they did, but you shouldn't be able to. Man, I'm telling you now, if they had stopped me, there would have been. It wouldn't have been a good sight. They would have had to arrest me, and then I would have done what Joe Pesci done in Casino. And said, right, I would have said, mate, listen, and then when I get out, right, you're just going to get out of hospital and I'm going to come back and I'm going to do it again, mate. That's what I would have been doing, man.
That's right. Someone of that bank manager, wasn't he?
The banker, man. That was one of the best scenes, man. He goes,
I tell you, I saw something funny, really funny today on a video that they posted on one of the websites. I don't know which one. I don't know whether it was TikTok or not, but it was just showing how a car was parked next to a tree, and it had a huge chain, a really thick chain.
Oh, I saw that around the car,
around the tree, and around the car, saying that this is what we've got to do nowadays to try and keep our cars from getting stolen, and trying to keep safe in this state, because Jesus, this has changed overnight, hasn't it?
100%, man. We've got Manny Costo, one of our second favourite Manny. Rocco, show us how to drive a train today. I've always wanted to know. Mate, I can show you, but I can't actually show you on the train. But hey, jump on. I'll put the link on. Why don't you jump on there? Stuart McQuay, it happened to two different tram drivers when I worked at South. Yes, I do know Stuart did work for the rail, so definitely, so what's this one about? I don't know if I can read. There was another story. A child fell off a balcony. A man caught the child, and the mother sued the guy for breaking the child's arm while catching him. True story. And you know what? And then part of the story was later on it was showing, like, all right, imagine this bloke gets sued. Like, do you start thinking about helping people then?
Fuck them.
Yeah.
Fuck them. If I'm going to get sued, bro, fuck you on your own, bro.
I mean, you
somehow
felt, deep inside how he would have felt like he was a hero. Here I've saved a child, and and people who saw that would have said, mate, well done. That is a huge pat on the back. What you've done is just absolutely amazing. And then to sit there and say, oh, you broke my child's hand. That was intention, was it? Maybe I should have just let him break his head, and then everybody else would have been.
Should there be common sense here, right? So I would do some hard like litigation now, some hard law, right? This is what I would do, right? I would go, right, you want to sue the child, right? You're wrong. Like, how I go, you're wrong. When you're wrong, mate. I would say you're wrong, and now the amount you've asked for, I will now give to the other person, and it comes from you because you've done a stupid litigation. How about we do something like that? I guarantee it'll stop it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you guys hear about the DoorDash driver?
If you want to sue for $100,000, be careful, because it might come back on you. So think about it before you do it, man. Why not?
Did you guys hear about the DoorDash driver in America who sued one of her customers?
For the pronouns?
No. So she rocked up to the house, and she peered through the window, and this guy was on the couch having a tug, right? So she's recorded him through his window having a tug, saying that he has sexually assaulted her, knowing that she would look into the through the window.
But she posted it.
She posted it all over the place, playing victim. She just got locked up.
Suffer. Good.
Yep. Do
you believe that? You're in your own home, man. You're doing your own stuff. And then not only, you look in there, then you go and post it. Are you kidding me, Are you
Yeah.
kidding?
Well, that'd be invasion of privacy, wouldn't it?
Oh,
Well, yeah.
it's everything. It's everything.
And this is what I mean. We need some more hard where you go, mate. You want to do this, fine, man. You can sue whatever you want, but if it backfires on you, guess what, man? You're paying for it big time here. Yeah.
Give me 1 sec, guys.
You go, and while you're doing that, we're gonna get this bloke on. Bocheck, he comes in. Check him out.
Let's chat shit.
Let's chat shit. I love this. Here we go. The perfect person to chat shit. The perfect person.
Oh yeah.
You know what? Do you want to do something? Do you want to do
Good,
something?
Manny. How are you, bro? Long time no
Good,
see.
mate, good. Yeah.
Good.
How was the event before the other event?
Oh,
with the,
the Remix Mania. He's had 2 now.
I've had
has
2
he?
now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
How's
they're
that been
going
going
well,
for
man.
you?
Yeah. That's good.
Oh,
The
good.
last one was a bit different, few new faces and stuff, so it was pretty good fun.
You've just got to, man. We've talked about this for hours, me and Bo. If you want to do this sort of stuff, you just got to keep at it, man. Just do the hard yards. Man. I think it's a great event. I think it worked out well, man. And for you to get what you got, the 80 people or so both times, man, that's a huge, man. That's a huge achievement, man, to get all these people out there to give you money so you can entertain them. You've done well, brother.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you to you guys as well. Andy come to the first one, you come to both of them. Like, you guys have supported it as well. So I got to thank you guys. And you guys thumped the promotion on the first one through Monday Blues and TJP alike. You guys helped out a lot as well. So I thank you guys. But hey, I got to say, we've started planning the next one, and the next one's a bit of a punt. We're taking a gamble on ourselves. So we're going to see how this next one goes, which is...
I like it. You've got to take a gamble. If you don't take a gamble on yourself, who does, man?
Exactly. You have to just do it. And if it works, it works. Great. If it doesn't, well...
Tell us, can you give us a little hint?
Yeah, come on.
Nah, see, if I give a hint, you 100% will know what the fuck we're doing if I say anything.
Who, me?
Yeah, you'll know, because, like... You're in the, know the music scene, you know certain events that run, and but let's just say, I'll say this at least, right? It's gonna be on Rumble weekend.
I like it.
And look, there might be some sort of tie to the Royal Rumble in some form or another.
Yeah.
I can't go too far because I'm guaranteeing Andy will just be like, "Yeah, I know what's going on."
All right, so we got Kadir here. We got Kadir. All we're missing now is Morris and Voss. Wouldn't that be fuck? Imagine just having Morris here. Hey, how would that be?
Oh my god!
Here he is.
Morris just came in because he misses me. I'm telling you now. That's the only reason he's here.
Morris is a star, man. He loves looking at himself. I bet you he goes after the show and watches the show again and just highlights his picture.
I'm not like you, Rocco. I don't need a
podcast. Oh, okay. How do you know I do that?
I don't need to glorify myself in reality.
Don't. You're a star. How you going, Morris? How are you going?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Manny, pleasure to meet you, mate. Andy, always good to see you, brother. Rocco,
always, mate.
Likewise, and Bo.
Oh, you said that a bit. I don't think you're too impressed to see me. I think you said that a bit wise.
No, I don't hold grudges, mate. No, I basically came on to chat in regards to something that's been strong with myself in the last, I don't know, maybe year and a half. Something that I've been educating myself on a lot. And that's the power of alternative therapies and that. So with myself, I'm not going to go into detail in regards to divulging much because my personal life's my personal life, but I've got a few health issues myself, been hospitalised quite a bit because of them, that really deflates you personally, mentally. And one of the things the only really thing that's kept me afloat, where it's like magic. And so I've taken the avenue of becoming a carnivore. So basically what that is, for anyone that doesn't know, so you only really consume animal products. So my diet will consist of meat, bacon, eggs, fish, all cooked in grass-fed butter, tallow or ghee. And it's just amazing on the shift that it does for your body. It basically eliminates nearly every autoimmune disease. Does wonders for the brain, so it does help with like dementia, Alzheimer's. I've got that in the family as well, too many. So I know what you're going through. Even like just alternative things like I also do, what's the right word for it? It's not a medicine. It's methylene blue. So methylene blue is a dye that was created, I don't know, 150 years ago, and like champagne was accidentally discovered, methylene blue was discovered to have health benefits in regards to like it increases your mitochondria, which opens up all your brain, and which ticks a lot of boxes for people with dementia, Alzheimer's, and that. So I just wanted to bring like awareness, to everyone out there, like be your own doctor. I have regular consults with my specialist, and a few months ago I was just talking to him because he said, he goes, mate, you look great. You feel, you're doing really well, blah, blah, blah. And I told him about methylene blue, and he had a little smirk, because I do methylene blue, right? And he had a little smirk, and he goes, methylene blue, how do you know about that, and where do you get it from? And I said to him, is it safe in your eyes? And he said, we use methylene blue with surgeries when we reattach like organs and that, where it helps heal. And he goes, Morris, it's completely safe, right? So awareness. I listen to people that are doctors. So there's a lot of like in regards to carnivore, there's a lot of people out there that are doctors, and we're talking about specialists that aren't just GPs, and they swear by it, and they're fighting with the pharmaceutical world in regards to like, I don't know how everyone is, but like there's that meme. You go to your GP and your GP turns around and says, oh, you know what, you're not doing well, you need to rejig a few things. And you're like, oh, so do I need to change my lifestyle? And the doctor turns around and says, no, you just need to take this tablet.
But that's the way it is. That's the way it is, Morris, with medicine and doctors. I mean, they're pushing their products. They're pushing it. Do some of it help you? Maybe. Does some of it doesn't help you? Maybe not. Who knows? Like even what you said with your meth blue you're taking, whatever you're taking, Breaking Bad,
methylene blue.
Right. I don't know, like you're saying it, but who knows? Like I don't want anyone to go be taking it. We're not doctors here, so let's just
No, we're not. And I'm not.
No, you got to be very careful saying stuff like that.
Yes, I don't know, like whatever that helps you.
I'm just talking about.
Just sue Morris, don't sue us.
Yeah, we got nothing to do with this. But are you were saying you like home medicine? You're not into homeopathy, are you?
No.
No.
So I'm not against Western medicine and that, but I do open my eyes to like there are things out there like don't listen to like I won't listen to the government, like like if it comes to like whether you call me a conspiracy theorist or not, but like when it was around COVID time, I was very vocal. Ivermectin is a drug that every government in the world pretty much banned and said, no, it's no good, blah, blah, blah. It's one of the safest drugs out on the market. It won a Nobel Prize. And it's funny how we got to the vaccination levels of over 90%. So they ticked all their boxes in regards to Big Pharma made their money. If you're now admitted into hospital with COVID, you are treated with ivermectin. So the narrative 5 years ago that the drug was no good and it was a dangerous drug for you to take, blah, 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 all of a sudden now is a pharmaceutical treatment. And the reason around it, quite simply, why it was discarded back then, it costs nothing to make. It's like 20 cents a tablet to make, as opposed to a vaccine. Like if you look at Bill Gates invested over $20 million in the vaccine production in the early days and made over $200 million profit from that.
Fucking good investment.
So
yeah, it's definitely like there's definitely something shifty going on there, mate. There was 100% something shifty going on there, man. And
follow the money.
It's always over money, Morris. It's always over. Everything's over money, man. Like you think about it, regardless of what it is, money is the root of all evil. That's where it starts and that's where it ends, mate. Because even if you try to do a war over something else, it always comes down to land, money, power. That's all it comes down to, right?
As they say.
And money gives you power. That's it. And if you got power, well, then see, you're the king, aren't you?
First you get the money, then you get the power. If you know, you know.
Then you get the
ivermectin. Then you get the ivermectin.
Hey, there was never a true fucking sentence said by the great man.
They say
to all the true, sorry, bro, to all the true Scarface fans out there, Salam Masura.
Sidi Mansour. What?
Salam Masura.
Salam Masura. That's something I ate last night.
Was it?
All right.
I was gonna
What
say
is it?
It's what it knows. So, all right. So what it is? So Salam Masura is something that, a block of 2 words that I've been saying for a good 20, 25 years. It means it's a little joke that two friends have. No one knows what it means, but it's actually said in the Scarface film, and it was around the scene, when Manolo and Tony go to like the hotel resort and they're out looking, and he's out trying looking for girls, this and that. There's a scene in there
that's the one we're talking about.
But there's also where one of them says Salam Masura.
I never picked that up. I got to look at that. Hey, listen, all those movies, man, the great mafia movies, which I love, and this week's History with Rocco, we look into Goodfellas, but the more you watch them, the more you pick up out of those movies. They are just brilliant movies, man, because there's so much little bits of gold in those movies. They're just amazing. You keep changing your name there, Lloyd.
I'm just going through Seinfeld characters.
Lloyd.
I was going to say, on the topic of medications and things like that, it is within their best interest that you stay sick.
Of course.
Well,
because that means you're great for business.
But there's a saying, and I think it reverts to US citizens, right? I don't know if it's globally, but for every baby born in we'll say the US, you're a $2 million investment to the pharmaceutical industry.
Yeah.
And just on that, in regards to like carnivore, right? And you don't have to go carnivore. You can go keto. So it's just the power in your food. Eat clean, real food, right? Andy can attest to this, where, you know, like, obviously me and Andy are really good friends, and, you know, we see each other all the time. You know, like, I used to go see Andy all the time, and he used to give me pain medication that you can't get, you know,
He's bloke.
from a doctor, right?
Check him out. He's got
No comment.
Nah,
No comment,
I'm
officer.
only-
I can't report, officer.
I am not a part of any of this.
Okay. So I'm only joking. So there was a period of time that I was pretty much on heavy pain medication.
What's that, babe? What's that, babe?
Nearly every day.
ASIO's at my door. Sorry, guys. I gotta get raided.
Morris has finished saying there was a time when I was addicted to something.
No.
What is going on here, mate?
No, not addicted. I'm not talking about addicted. I'm talking about through my illnesses. Okay. When they flare, I need to take 2 types of antibiotics, sometimes 3, and different pain meds. Okay. And try to get myself out of hospital. All right. So there was a period of time where I was losing the battle, not with addiction or anything, with the disease in regards to being ill, being sick through my illnesses, right? I jumped back on the carnivore bandwagon, and it was like a switch after a few weeks. Didn't need any medication, didn't need anything, have felt the best that I've felt in over, you know, maybe 2 years. So it's, and also want to say on that, the power of the mind as well too.
A little bit, and the power of the mind, I suppose, works with your placebo effect, you know, and that's been proven to be a real thing, you know what I mean? The placebo effect is a real thing, man. It's been tested and it's been proven to be real. So the power of the mind, of course, does work, and we were just talking about it before, where we just don't understand how the mind works. But yeah, of course, the placebo effect works. What do you reckon, mate, Manny? You've been sitting there like a bit stone-faced.
No, I'm in agreement with Morris. I actually I went on that carnivore diet around September last year, and by January, end of Feb this year, I had dropped a lot of weight, and I hadn't felt, you know, I felt like $1 million. I mean, you know, and unfortunately, you know, sometimes you get a little bit lazy and you start neglecting that, and then you start putting on a bit of weight and this and that. But I realized that, and I agree with you 100%. If it's one thing that you want to do in order to be able to improve your health, get rid of a lot of inflammations in your body, that's definitely the way to go. So I'm in agreement with Morris there. But sorry, I just had a text from my cousin who on Sunday we went and saw AC/DC at the MCG, and he said, I can't get that music out of my brain. He says it just seems to be stuck in my brain. And so today is what, Tuesday, and he's just texting me about what happened on Sunday. So I don't know if anybody. I know we're moving completely away from what Morris was saying, but I don't know if anybody has ever seen AC/DC live, or if they did go to the concert. But I can tell you what, 30, 40 years later, you know, because these blokes are in their mid-70s, and I can tell you what, great entertainment, and music was loud, and it was amazing the amount of people that were there. You know, it was just incredible. You know, like I go to the MTG to go watch footy, and the way it's set up, you know, you got the cafes. You'll go and get your chips and your hot dog, and and you probably you get your cold drink, and you go back to watch the game. But this was just something different. I reckon there was a bar serving alcohol every 5 meters, because it was just basically the type of crowd that was going to rock up to watch AC/DC. But it was a fantastic concert, really good.
I said this the other night. Arguably one of the best bands ever. You know what I mean? And if not in the top, definitely top 10 and definitely top 5. But arguably one of the best like rock bands. And they've come out of Australia, man. They are pure entertainment.
Carl's just said in the chat, she said people could claim that, if you want to bring it up, people claim you could hear it from 10 kilometers away. I heard something else as well, that apparently there was a reaction to one of the tracks or something, or just the sheer noise throughout the concert was rumbling the ground.
Yep.
So for that to actually register is a lot of noise. I
went and saw Travis Scott last year, and I think when he played Fiend for like the 10th time, he played the song fucking so many times, and it just got louder and louder every fucking time.
Yeah, and
I think they said that was the loudest recorded concert in Melbourne history.
Wow!
When that happened, it was fucking insane. Insane.
Wow, when that many people get together, like it's just mate, it's an insane thing, man, to get that many people together and all doing the same thing, like fucking it's insane to be part of it. It's insane to be part of it, yeah.
So can I ask a question?
At the footy, there's 2 teams, right? Sorry, bro. At the footy, there's 2 teams, so you're not going to have that even, that even sound. But when you've got 80,000 or 100,000, many people, they're all on the same side doing the same thing. It's fucking mental. I went and saw Rufus the Soul last week, and they're a great Aussie. Yeah. They're great Aussie groups. Georgie and I have been seeing them for every time they come down, ever since that pretty much they came out. So I haven't missed the Rufus show in Melbourne, and it was fucking spectacular to watch them grow from like the very first show we went and saw them at to now. It was insane. And they do like electronic dance music, but they do everything live. They play live instruments, and it's just fucking mind blowing how good they are.
Is it true he stuffed up In a Bloom?
Not at my show.
Oh, okay. It might have been another show. Apparently, he played like 2 of the wrong notes, and everyone's just screamed because they're like, "What the fuck?"
No, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
Not at mine.
They had a support band. It was called Amy L and the Sniffers, and it was a bloke. There was a bloke next to me, and he turns around. And he goes to his wife, who was next to him over there. He goes, "Is that say Alu and the Sniffers?" And she goes, "No, Amy L." And he goes, "I've got to put those glasses on." I thought, how funny was that? It was just.
AC/DC does that, man. You'll get like 70-year-old, 80-year-old people, and you get the young generation also there, man. And that's what they do. They transcend, different generations, and not, not many bands do that. Let's be honest. You know what I mean? You have to be special to do that sort of stuff. Yeah. So no, I think this is one of my favorite bands.
I wanted to ask everyone a question of what was the best concert you've been to in terms of how much fun you've had, not production or anything like that, just fun, sheer fun. Because we got different generations here, so and different music tastes as well. So
I'll go first. I'll go first and get out of the way. My best concert was the Pink Floyd when they came here. That was my ultimate, and I was that close that I got Gilmore waving at me when he was walking back off the stage. So that's how close I was to him. I was on the side there, so it was fantastic. But the funnest one I went, if I say it, you're going to laugh. I went to a Bananarama concert, right? When I was young, right? And I was sitting front row. I had a ball, man. I'm telling you, I had a ball, man. I was at those days, man. I was king of the castle, as they say.
What do you
King of
mean
the
by you
castle,
had a
king of
ball?
the castle, right?
A banana on his t-shirt.
What do you
And I
mean
got a
by
banana
ball?
on my t-shirt. There you go. And banana is my saying. You're a banana. Bananarama.
Oh shit.
Oh wow.
Andy,
Yeah, for me, good question.
you would have been to heaps, no?
Yeah, I've been to so many, bro. I'll probably go to, maybe 2 or 3 a year, and
That's
at
a
the
lot.
very least, because I go to a lot of DJs as well. I love seeing DJs play, international DJs. So I mean, pure concerts though, man, it's hard
Pearl
to
Jam.
name just one. Pearl Jam was good, but Pearl Jam isn't my they're not my favorite. So
Yeah,
it was great because I don't know the majority of their music. So to go there with you and just experience Pearl Jam was pretty cool. But I'm a massive Drake fan, so seeing him live the first time was so fucking good. Tame Impala was fantastic. I had so much fun at Tame Impala. But yeah, my favorite concert ever, honestly, would have to be 2011, 2010. I went to Canada to see The Weeknd for his first show. It was at the Mod Club in Toronto. It was maybe 80 people, and to see him perform. Yeah, he performed his first mixtape, The House of Balloons, and seeing him so nervous, he was like fucking up so much, like just with the note selection. You could tell he was nervous, and now seeing him, probably the biggest pop star in the world, minus Taylor Swift. It's amazing that I got the opportunity to see him at his smallest.
Yeah.
So that's probably my favorite. Although fuck Canada airport, fuck Canada, fuck Canadian airports. They fucking gave me hell. They gave me hell, bro. Oh, bro, it was the fucking worst. If anybody has ever gone to Canada and you've had the slightest trouble before in your life, they're the worst. They are the fucking worst. But it is what it is. I got in.
Manny?
How old were you in 1986 there, Bo?
In 1986?
Yeah.
-2.
-2.
Same.
Well, I went and saw a band. A band that's very famous for a song called Money for Nothing.
Dire Straits.
Dire Straits.
No, that would have been good to see for sure.
That would have been sick, dude. Holy, yeah.
Yeah.
What a
1986.
song, mate. What a song, mate. When you think about when you hear that song start, mate, that is a banger.
Goosebumps. You get goosebumps. Yeah.
Yeah, that is he wrote that song, I think, working in like a appliance store or something. I read this thing about it, like he's working in there and looking at the appliances and that's where he wrote it, so that's unreal, mate. That would have been a good concert. Yeah, I've been to Billy Joel. Billy Joel I went to see. He was really good. I'm jealous of this guy, Rob Specialist. Red Specialist, nice. Queen, mate. That's something I'll
sick.
See Queen. Imagine being at that Live Aid concert.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Far out.
What a moment.
What
Morris,
a moment.
You can't be saying Metallica either.
I still watch that, that video of the Queen set coming out in Live Aid. I watch that, like every couple of weeks, man. I just love it. I love Freddie Mercury coming out, mate. He gets that credit, man. It's one of the best. I reckon one of the best, live. I can't say that because there's been plenty, but it was a great live performance by the bloke.
No, Morris, I was saying you can't say Metallica. There's no way it's that.
Mine, I love Pearl Jam. I love Eddie Vedder. Mine I've got two. So one was Foo Fighters show. I love Foo Fighters, which was, I think, 2013. This specific show where Dave Grohl, he's just an entertainer, and I was like pretty much up at the front, and I got some vision of basically. They had two stages at one point where like I was like standing a meter from them. But probably my best show was Metallica at the Maya Music Bowl. I think that was early 2000. It was a great day. Their pyrotechnics that they had, especially on one, like that was off. Like we're talking over 20 years ago for this show. So, but I've been to like a lot of gigs, and I was even fortunate. Like you don't realize until you get a little bit older, but like I remember going to U2, and you know, Kanye opened for U2, and no one knew who he was.
Wow.
I went. There was a Pearl Jam show that I went to that Kings of Leon opened for them. No one knew who they were. It was good where like I just went 2 Saturdays ago to Metallica. I've seen Metallica about six, 7 times. Evanescence opened for him, and that was like I love Amy Lee. I reckon she's one of the best female vocalists going around.
Incredible voice.
To actually see her, like I would actually go to their concert. So to get that as a bonus was off tap, and it's in regards to like sound and that. It's funny because I don't know how much truth you take out of it, but like there was a reporting that the concert from Marvel 2 Saturdays ago on the 8th, there were sections throughout that concert where they picked up earthquake level recordings.
Yeah, that's what I was saying before, that it registered. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Oh, no, on the Metallica show. I thought you were talking about the AC/DC.
Oh, sorry. No, that's what I heard. I thought it was in relation to AC/DC, but it was Metallica, wasn't it?
No. Yeah. And it's funny because I actually saw photos, and I never knew that they did this, right? But how it makes you think about construction and that, right? And like the way they build stadiums, like I actually saw photos of the underground of Marvel with these from roof to floor, these yellow steel beams just planted everywhere to hold the foundation up. And you're like,
yeah, wow.
Fuck, we go to the footy every week, yeah. I know there's not, 40,000 people standing on the arena and speakers, and that, just that sound going everywhere. Wouldn't they? Because when they originally built Marvel, it was for entertainment purposes as well too.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So, like it was just odd seeing that, like in 2025, we're needing to put up steel beams to hold up or prevention. Sorry.
It's an amazing feat to build a stadium when you think about it, and you think about even like the G in the like 120 years ago, whatever it was built, like holding all those people. And you're right, you go on one of those stands, you don't think about it, right? But how much weight is in one of those stands? Forget about like the people, just the weight is holding in the first place. You know what I mean? Like that's an Italian's dream, all that concrete. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
mate, they love it, mate. They
water it.
mate, you know, like I brought my uncle to the footy, and all he did was compliment how smooth the concrete looked. You know, like he was so happy. So
Well, you know what I was also thinking is over the years how much concerts have changed in the way, you know, the entertainment. You know, I was just you know, one thing led to another, but I went to in 1987. I went to Festival Hall to see Billy Idol.
Oh yeah, Festival Hall. That was a big thing, Festival Hall, man.
Yeah. Anyway, and I remember, mate, I remember he put on a glove. He put on a rubber glove. I don't know what. Well, anyway, he put on this glove, and he's got this gorgeous bird on the, you know, up on stage with him, who was obviously part of the show. And you know, I don't want to get into too much detail, even though we're unfiltered here, but you know, I can tell you, I can tell you that this glove, you know, went into certain parts of the anatomy where I'm thinking to myself, it wouldn't happen these days. You know, there's no way you get, you know, where it just wouldn't happen, man. So, you know, things have just changed so much, you know, like virtually everything, you know. It was funny because I was talking to a mate of mine just a couple of weeks back how, you know, there's some TV shows that, you know, you had things like Kingswood Country and things that they used to say on a show like that, you know, that seemed so innocent. But yet, you know, back in, you know, 30 years ago, it was acceptable. Now, you can't say things like that, you know, or love thy neighbor. And, you know, but it's just amazing how things have changed, you know, over the years where, you know, one thing used to be a normal, now it's forbidden.
It's a moving detail.
I just want to, somebody in the chat earlier wrote Daft Punk. I think it was Nick in the chat. They said Daft Punk in 2007.
Daft Punk, I did put it up. Yeah, here.
I was there. That was incredible. That was, man, I miss. So I don't know, like, did you guys have music festivals like back in the day?
Yeah.
Like all day with, like, you know.
Yeah.
They still got them now, you know, but
yeah, of course. Yeah. That's what I was saying, because they got them now, and like, man, growing up,
back then they were called raves.
Yeah, well, they are raves.
Yeah, the rave.
So, man, I remember like, you know, Stereosonic, Summer Days, Future, and then you had
Park Life.
You had the ones at High Sense.
Kiss My Grass.
I hated Kiss My Grass. Hated it. But there was like a couple of heavy duty ones, like God's Kitchen.
Oh, and Base Station and everything.
Yeah, bro. Far out, bro. You rock up on a Saturday, you're not going home till fucking 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Like, just those were the
talking
days.
My language
man.
now, holy.
Yeah. So those were the days. Like, I love. See, as much as I love hip hop, right? Like, I love hip hop. I love it, and I love R&B. But there's something so pure about electronic music, and you're at a festival, you're with your mates, you're really vibing, and a song will hit, and you just elevate, you know, your body transcends. Like
that's the pharmaceutical.
It's like when your team scores a goal and you're all.
That is the pharmaceuticals kicking in, Brian.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. The pharmaceutical might elevate you, but the buzz is there, man.
Bro.
Can I ask a question on that? And it's, I had a debate with someone a while ago around this, right? So, and you know, like my genre of music is rock and metal. Right? I've always loved it, but got heavily involved in the dance underground scene and that. So, I mean, like, music's music, yeah. Like, we all love a lot of it, right? But with this debate, it came out where we'll talk.
I know where you're going with this, Because me and you debated this as well.
No,
I know,
it wasn't. But the debate wasn't with you, right? So
yeah, I know.
I might have
where
mentioned
you're
it to you.
Yeah.
So I look at a musician as being a musician, right? So let's say, like, if I look at, I'm going to use Dave Grohl as an example, right? So Dave Grohl started as the drummer for Nirvana, right? Then he ventured and formed Foo Fighters, became the lead singer. Okay, so you've already gone drummer, singer, and he also plays the guitar, right? And he probably plays many more, right? Then you want to look at a god of, like music, Prince, who played that many instruments and so forth, right? Now, my debate was, is a DJ an artist?
I could
So
speak about this for about 4 hours.
My
I think
view
so.
is, and you got to remember, I know a lot of DJs, and
Careful.
like
Careful here.
some of my mates, all right, really well-known DJs where they DJ around the world and so forth and that, right? So they're buying someone else's music and they're mixing it. And gone are the days where these guys here, I used to go around with them where they'd go to a record store where a vinyl, one song would cost them $50. And we're talking like in the 90s, yeah? The $50. Now it's download as much music as you want, put it on a device, plug it into a laptop, and there's your music library. Okay, and mix it. No, I'm not saying it's not a skill.
It's not that simple,
but I'm not saying it's not a skill. I'm not saying it's not a skill. But what I'm saying, can you call a DJ that plays someone's song, mixes it in, his touch, gets the crowd going, mixes it into someone else's song? All right, is that an artist? And
can I start before? Because then I'm gonna throw it over, because there's a couple of DJs here. There's one that's been around the world, but hey, I've DJ'd all over the northern suburbs, so I know what I'm fucking talking about in the 80s, right? I used to go Central Station and get the albums, Can I just say 100% a DJ is an artist? Right, 100%. And is he a musician? I reckon he is bordering musician, because just because he's using a tool, we can say it's a tool, right? It doesn't change what he does. People
he's
not what?
But
you think about it.
The rebuttal is as well too, right? Sorry, and I know and I'm sorry to cut you off, right? But the rebuttal on my debate was as well too, right? When you look at, like, if we talk a musician, so someone that sings and plays in a band or whatever, if you're singing someone else's and playing someone else's music, and that's all you do, all right? Technically, you're not really but technically, you're really not an artist.
But you're not
an artist. Think about this.
You're a musician, but you're not an artist. To be an artist is you're creating something.
Yeah, and they're creating something. Oh, look, I'm going to have to disagree with you 100%.
But I already created it.
No, you didn't, because let me give you an example, Morris, right? You talk about musicians, right? Do they get notes and compositions from other artists to build their songs?
Some of them do, yeah.
Yeah, they do. A lot of them do. All right, where do you think the notes in that come from? So what are you saying? The only true musician was 300 years ago? Like, of course, everyone is off everyone's back, you know what I mean? But I'm going to pass this over to the boys, because there's someone here that's been around the world DJing. I'm going to say he is, not only is he an artist, I'm going to say he's a musician. Bo?
Andy, do you want to take it, or you want me to?
Nah, I want you to hammer him, bro.
But
It's not about hammering. It's about putting things into perspective. I've had this conversation with so many different people. I'm not going to go into my history, but I've done it for a long time, right?
Don't go. All right, don't go completely to your history, but just quietly, man. You've DJ'd all over. How many countries have you DJ'd in?
16.
So it's not like you don't know what you're talking about.
No, look, I like to think that I've got enough knowledge about it across the entire spectrum of the DJ world, right? Whether it's about music, whether it's about other DJs, whether it's about the club scene, whatever it is, right? But the question of, is a DJ an artist, yes or no? I've had that conversation many times. Now, you speak about musicians or artists playing real music, or sorry, playing real instruments, I guess, if you want to put it that way, and they're creating something, right? The debate there is, and the thing that I brought up the most is, if a painter is using paints that he didn't create, is he no longer an artist?
No, but the art is his.
No, but answer the question though.
My mate, like, to give you an example, someone I know that goes by the name of Honey Smack. All right, so Dave, he's a DJ, but he DJs live music, his own, while he's there, right?
Okay, no, we're going to get to that in a second. My question is, if I go up to an artist who paints, and I say to him, you're not an artist because all you do is get paint that you didn't create, and then you put that on the canvas, is he no longer an artist? Because let me give you the comparison. The comparison there is that I'm taking somebody else's music, using the tool that I have, which is the paintbrush, and creating something with that music. He's creating something with that paint, right?
But you're just playing that music. You're playing
no. See, and now we're going to get to the second part of it. DJing, that's right, and that's what he's doing. He's just mixing it in on and making his painting with that paint, right? Now, that's what a DJ does. Now, there is a gray area, because DJing as an art form is different to just pressing play. Now, here's where people have an issue. They think that DJs just, and I know you don't think this way, but I'm going to explain it anyway, right? A lot of people think DJs just go up there and either play a pre-recorded set every single time, and for those that do, can go do one, right? But the ones that don't just go up there and press play. DJing itself is an art form. Beat matching is not hard. It's everything else that you do within your set that makes it an art form. And if you are good enough to do that, then you can be considered an artist. Here's where the gray area is. If you just go up there and straight beat mix, which is what you're describing, grabbing someone's music and just mix it in, I don't consider that being an artist. I consider that just being, a embellished jukebox, right? Because any system can do it by itself. I can press sync, I can press play, and done. Nothing good about that whatsoever. But if you understand the art form of DJing and you actually are able to do things live that set you apart from a button pusher, then you become an artist. One thing I won't say is I don't think a DJ is a musician unless they produce their own music. If they produce their own music, I can consider that being a musician, because what it takes for me to sit in front of a computer for an entire day, let's say 10, 12 hours, which I've done in the past, and produce a track from scratch, whether I'm sampling or creating sounds myself, whatever it is, that final product is still the same as somebody producing a tune as a band or a singer or writing a song. So the overall answer for that is that I believe there's that little gray area, and I totally agree with you. Some DJs that just go up there and press those buttons and whatever, and then Jesus poses like this and heart poses and shit like that. That's all bollocks to me, right? But you have to understand that the ones that do go up there and know exactly what they're doing, they can be considered artists. And let me tell you, it's few and far between right now, because there are so many DJs out there who we're referring to them as TikTok DJs, right? Who they're not DJing for me, in my
kind
opinion,
of music.
Sorry?
Kind of music? Or is that how you say the name?
Well, kind of music, yeah, the Afro house DJs, right?
Yeah.
So for a lot of DJs these days, they're ghost produced. They don't make their own music. They play it off like it's their own music, and then they'll go ahead and they will go and play that music and act like they're gods on a stage. Whereas if you look back on like 20 years ago and maybe even look at the DMC DJ competitions from back in the day, and you're looking at guys scratching vinyls, like, what the hell is going on? How is that even possible? That's an art form. That can be considered just as much of an artist as someone picking up a guitar and grinding on it, right? Not that sort of grinding, but you know.
Correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of that, when they used to compete, there wasn't like, they were creating their own beats on their decks and that, right? And
it can be done. You can make live bootlegs and mashups on the spot, very easy. If you know.
And you being a DJ, right? So did you used to work with vinyl?
I learnt on vinyl. I moved to I didn't want to go into this too much because this is going to happen at another point in time, which I won't say. But I started on vinyl and I moved into other things later on. But I learnt on vinyl, so I know how bloody hard it was.
How hard is it, bro?
It's extremely hard. If you think about what we have now compared to learning on vinyl, it's incredibly hard.
Crazy.
And the respect and Rock, you know, the place you mentioned before, was it in Richmond on Bridge Road? Yeah, you used to go buy your LPs, your vinyls.
Central Station.
What was the one on Bridge Road? Mickey?
Central Station was in the city, you know, so we used to go down.
That's exactly where it was, in the city,
I used to sell the 12-inch. Everything was 12 inch.
We used to go there. I think the Friday night, they used to have like the new release 12 inches, man. We used to hang out there and go and spend all our money that I earned from Coles during the week.
And that's like,
it was also alley tunes in Glenferrie Road as well.
Yes.
What was the one in Richmond? It was pretty. So two blokes had Michael was one of the guys' name. Remember, Rocco, this is going to bring back memories. Remember 75th Squadron?
Yeah, of course.
So he used to DJ there. So one of my mates
I had some good moves there.
Yeah.
I was young once, remember?
Yeah. So I used to go there with some mates that used to DJ in that, right? And they used to spend their whole pay packet. And as you get older, you respected them. Because now, if I want to become a DJ, it's just buy a laptop and download.
But hang on. Can I interrupt?
That's so dismissive and disrespectful, bro.
Can I interrupt here? Andy's 100% right. And number two, can you tell me the difference? All right. And I'd love to hear your answer, because a lot of people can never really give me a justified answer on this. I hear this all the time where vinyl DJs get a lot of respect, and people that learnt on vinyl originally and know how to play it and stuff like that. It's like when you speak to someone and go, what car do you drive? And they go, hang on.
There's an investment.
Yeah, but hang on. There's an investment down the track as well, and I'll tell you what that is. You know, when you speak to someone about cars and you go, what car do you drive? And you're like, auto. And they go, do you know how to drive manual? And they go, nah. And you go, oh, nah, fuck it. You know,
you don't know how to drive. You're not a driver.
So that same sort of thought process is about DJs, where they go, oh, do you know how to play vinyl? They go, oh, you're not a real DJ then, right? I don't buy into that shit at all. Luckily for me, or I guess fortunately enough for me, I started on it, so I know what that felt like progressing. But can you tell me the difference between me going out and buying, let's say, 20 vinyls for a set, right? Regardless of the price, doesn't matter about the price. We're just talking about buying 20 vinyls. I didn't produce one of those tracks. I go to the club that night and I play those vinyls. What is the difference between me doing that and going onto Beatport and going onto TrackSource and buying all the music off there, putting it onto a USB and playing it at the club?
Probably. So, all right. So, I understand what you're saying. No. I understand what you're saying, but also at the same time, right? So, like, to give you,
got to take nostalgic bias out of it as well.
No. Like, to give you an example, and like, I remember I'm a few years older than my mate, right? And I remember we used to go all the time, you know, and these were in our, you know, heydays and that. And my mate always said to me, he goes, and I used to say to him, how the fuck do you afford to buy all these fucking all these records every week. And he's like, it's going to pay off one day.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I caught up with my mate a while ago, right? And he goes to me, so his reward out of all of this was he closed a night. So he closed after Tiesto.
Yep.
My mate.
Yeah.
That's how good he is. All right?
Yeah.
Now, for my mate, like, it's not that he closed after that. It was like, fuck, I just closed after Tiesto. Everyone in the world knows who Tiesto is. All right? Now, answering your question, it's like, I look at it, and I'm not being disrespectful to those that didn't do vinyl or whatever, right? I just see that if you DJ'd in the era of vinyls, and you got to remember, Bo, I'm a lot older, right? So
yeah, but I mean, I understand that era in terms of music and DJing, so it's okay.
So if you didn't have coin behind you, you couldn't DJ, or if you had enough money just to buy records, and then that was it. You had no other social life because you spent all your money. That's commitment to me. Yeah.
Yep.
Whereas the way I see it now is, and I'm not saying that people that aren't good DJs if they're not using vinyl or whatever. But what I'm saying is now you can hit the download for free button. And you've
I'm not listen, I'm not disputing that you can get tracks for free.
Can I just say that I think the DJs that I grew up in the era where I used to go to places like, say, Warehouse nightclub on a Wednesday, right, where these DJs had to use nothing but vinyl, and they would create masterpiece through the vinyl they had, because that's all they had. Whereas now you've got a press of a button and it gives you a different type of sound effects. You got so much more in technology that can assist you. But back in those days with the vinyl, just to be able to be able to do the scratching and to be able to get the next track to come in with, to be able to have that beat and it continue. It's a form of masterpiece, because you'd know the moment that mix wasn't successful, and Bojack will tell you that if that mix wasn't successful, you knew straight away because the beat was off. Yeah. So nowadays, and you talk about the modern day DJs. Like, one of my favorite DJs is David Guetta. Now I love his music. Yeah, but he's been successful enough to be able to get artists and produce music for them. So do you then say that he's a DJ / artist? When you're comparing about who's an artist and who's not an artist. But I think any type of form that you're able to create, that should be considered as part of artistry. You know what I mean? I can, as Bo said, I can grab a paint and a brush and do something. To me, that might be artistry. To you, that might not be artistry. You know what I mean? But I think these days it's a lot easier. My opinion.
I disagree, and I'm going to let Bo talk because he's the expert. But we had a bit of a chat about this the other day, Bo, when I was talking about technology, right?
Correct.
And just because stuff has got easier, does that make you less of an artist? So now we use a lot of AI and that to do our stuff. Does that make you less creative? I actually gone the other way, and I think it makes you more creative, because now what the electronics and the AI and what that does now is it just takes away the bullshit that you would have to work on and waste your time. Now you've got like a Lecky helping you do all that bullshit while you could spend all your time being creative. And that's the job you do. So just because you've got a hand, like over the years, and I was saying this to Bo, like before Leonardo da Vinci, people were painting on a cave, right? Then they gave him a brush does that make him less of an artist because you gave him some technology? Because that's what it was, technology. And then
but
when
he
they
was creating, yeah, but it's a bit different because
no, it's not a bit different because what you gave him was a tool, and now all it is you're just over the years the tools are getting more advanced.
You can't use paint. You can't use paint and someone's song.
Yes, you can. Because
no, but Morris, I gave you the exact.
If I start a band, and my set list comes from Pearl Jam, Metallica, Foo Fighters, Green Day, Megadeth, Slayer, Dire Straits, Pink Floyd, this and that, right? And that's it. And not one song is mine.
Are you playing an instrument?
No, I'm singing.
You're an artist.
You're an artist,
bro. Like there's different
you're in a
sorts
cover
of
band.
artists.
That's what you're in.
Yeah, you're a cover band. You're still an artist, man. Like you can't
I'm a musician.
take away.
I'm not an artist. An artist is when it's my opinion. It's when you create something, right? And if I did play an instrument, right?
Yeah, no. I agree with you there. No, I agree with you there.
Someone else has already done the hard yards for me in stringing the notes. And I'll give you an example, right? Like,
but hang on, wait. Before you, sorry to interrupt. Wait. I agree with you with that. That's why I said there's a grey area when it comes to DJing there. And I'm gonna, like I say, so just before you go on, with what Rocco said before about how technology helped it along, and it's allowing you more time to be creative. The DJing conversation is a lot more nuanced than that, even because we now have sync buttons. Sync buttons put everything into beat for you. You don't have to think about anything, right? You also have pre-recorded sets that a lot of people do these days, right? So it's a really nuanced conversation to be able to say, is a DJ an artist or not? Because you have to take into account, well, do they go up there and just press buttons? Do they produce their own music? Do they hit the sync button and just stand there looking like Jesus? What do they do? Do you know what I mean? It's a much more complex conversation than what it would be if you were to speak about a band, for example, because that example you just gave there, saying that if you were playing everybody else's music or singing everybody else's music and you didn't create any of it, I don't think you're an artist. You're a musician.
Correct, and that's
so I agree with
the
you
road
on that.
that I'm. Yeah. And my like one of my things that I was saying, like, you know, being a massive, you know, Eddie Vedder fan. There's a song that he wrote, and he speaks about that he was staying in his hotel overlooking Madison's what's the park in New York?
Central Park.
Central Park. It was 3-4 in the morning, and he couldn't sleep, and he just kept on. His mind was flowing, so he was writing lyrics on a napkin at 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. When he saw the other band members, he presented it to them. Hey, listen, blah blah blah, and then you had the other members are like, all right, how's this little riff? You know, what do you think of this? And they tuned it all into a song. You know, it took them time.
Yeah.
That's hard.
But what? So what part? What are you saying? The DJ art form has nothing to do. It's not a direct comparison, because the art form of DJing is what gets done on the decks, right? Mm-hmm. We're not talking about producers here. We're not talking about music composers here, like Petra just said before, right? We're talking about just DJs as a DJ, strictly as that, right? And the art form is what I look at there. Are they doing anything more than going like this, play, look at me, everybody, and all that sort of stuff? If they are, and whether it's with, and we'll go back to what Rocco said before, with new technology in the decks now and mixers and things like that, you're able to do more things live. You can sample live. You can. Excuse me, you can do a lot more than what you could have done with vinyls back in the day. So no one's disputing the fact that technology got better, but I don't think...
I'm not talking about the vinyl and the...
No, I'm just saying I don't think it can be... I don't think it's fair to the DJs to umbrella this entire thing under DJs completely, because there are some very talented DJs out there that are so technically
100%.
gifted that you have to look at it and go, wow, I don't know. And you know what's crazy about that? If I'm at a club, okay, so not me because I'm in there, I know what to listen for, but just your general punter that goes to a club, you could be listening to one of the world's best DJs technically that is going nuts up there doing stuff you don't even realize, and all you're hearing is what's coming out of the speakers, and you would not know any different. But if you're up there watching him doing all that and blah, 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 or you have some sort of understanding about what it is, you're going to go, that's fucking, let's use the word, artistry. You know what I mean? Because he's literally using that tool to create what you're listening to. And
that word artist is a very broad word,
artist, you know,
isn't it? Cool. When you look at the word artist, it's a very broad word.
I agree. Very
broad word.
I'll give you an example. What about Meatloaf? You think Meatloaf is an artist, or is he a music? What's he?
Does he write and create his own songs?
What is he? It doesn't matter. What is he?
He's an artist.
I heard, and I'll be corrected on this, he doesn't write his own music and he can't play an instrument.
There's not a single artist in the world that writes his own music all the time.
And this is what I'm saying. So what does that make you? Like, and you know, like most artists,
find the old timers do, Andy. A lot of the old
the old timers, but does that make you?
I disagree, bro. I disagree.
Some of the greatest songs out there.
Hang on a sec. But that's a collaborative effort. We're talking about any one artist.
Are you talking about solo? You're not talking about.
I'm talking about solo. Even in a band. There's not a single group. There's not a single artist in the world, whether they're solo or in a band, that has found any bit of success and has written all their own music always.
Yeah. No, they have a whole team behind them. You're right.
Exactly.
There's a team or nothing. Do you know many great songs, and I can't name them now, that are written by other great artists and they give them to other artists? There's heaps of them, and you go like, oh, that's a great song. Oh, that was written by Prince, or that was written by him, So, but anyway, we'll continue on in a sec. I just want to bring someone on.
Yeah.
Now, I think you go under an alias of a different name. I'm pretty sure you used to be a different name, but welcome back.
Thanks for having me, gentlemen. I just thought this conversation was going in a direction that was like, oh, I might join in here. I've got a few things I might be able to add. I just want to talking about like performers, so to speak. Because I said in the comments earlier, talking about like vinyl and stuff like that, it's the same conversation that you have with, audio files. It's a very similar. It's the analog thing, right? It's the difference between, this sort of the sounds that the alleged differences in sounds, but also, the processes involved in analog as opposed to digital, which you guys have discussed pretty much in depth. And I feel like the thing that came into my head was Kraftwerk. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with Kraftwerk, German electronic band from the 70s and 80s. Now, they made their own instruments. Like, they were the first band to sort of do really sort of advanced electronic music back in the 70s. They made their own drum pads, things like that, right? So they weren't just creating the music; they were creating the instruments that made the music. But when I went and saw them, the sort of the main creative element of the band toured in the 2000s, and I went and saw them a couple of times. And by that stage, there was no instrument. It was just four guys up on stage with laptops, right? But there was more of a visual thing involved in the show. And look, it was great. but I'm like, I thought, man, that kind of really blurs the lines. I mean, these guys wrote this music, they made this music on instruments that when they first were around, and started out, and they were releasing these albums, they were releasing this music that they had created on instruments that they had created. Now everything's on a hard drive, and they're just basically, just pressing buttons to bring that music out and the visuals that they have put alongside it. And I think, that's what Bo was saying a little bit earlier about where the lines sort of get blurred as to,
Well, the modern version of Kraftwerk now is, and has been for some time, and Andy will know who these people are, but I don't know if anyone else in chat or you guys will know, is Justice, right? So Justice are a French duo. They do the exact same thing that you were saying there. It's all, and a lot of their setup, if you look at their setup, even from the Big Day Out and Park Life and stuff from back in the day, and all their, concerts that they do for themselves and tours, a lot of their equipment on stage is analog. So we're talking about analog synthesizers, analog equipment, pads. Well, obviously the pads are digital, but analog synthesizers and things like that, where they're doing it all live. However, they also do shows exactly how you just mentioned, where they'll be up there. They don't do flat stick DJ shows, but they'll have a laptop back to back, and they're running everything through it. But it's mainly done now on pads and samplers and things like that. Whereas back in the day, all these analog synthesizers doing it on stage. And honestly, that's impressive. When you can see someone actually do that in real time, it's really cool, because they're basically creating the sound on this synthesizer and then running it through their, whether it's Ableton Live, like whatever their software is, and that's what you're hearing. It's insane to watch live. And I don't see anything different from that to watching a very, very good DJ who knows what to do with the music. Anyone that comes up to a stage for me and just presses buttons and tries to act like they're the second coming, zero respect from me. And unfortunately, we're in a place now. Sorry, Rocco. We're in a place now where we are saturated with DJs, because people have seen how much status it gives you and this and that and money and whatever else, and how big you become on social media and all that. And now it's just a bloody shit show. It's full of clowns. It's just full of people that are either ghost produced and play pre-recorded sets, and it's all about what they're wearing and stuff. Mate, I've got some videos in my phone of the most outlandish crap that I've ever seen from DJs. You'd think you're watching a Broadway show.
Yep.
Now, don't get me wrong. People probably love that and they'll pay money to see it. That's great. But for me, I don't see, and we'll go back to the word again, I don't see the art form in that at all. And look, for me, I don't know, like, I know how to scratch, but I don't know how to do 3/4 of the stuff that a really good technical DJ knows how to do. But I know how to do things my way in order to make that set different to a button pusher. And that was what it was about, developing your art form, developing new tricks, new ideas where you can make your set unique, but I guess if you want to use the word impressive, and that's no different to a band jumping on stage and they'll tweak their own song a little bit so it's different from the last time they played it or whatever. You know what I mean? So to me, like, I mean, it's good that you mentioned Kraftwerk, because they also, like, for those, I don't know if you said it before, but they're German, right? And Germany in terms of a music scene is massive. Right? In terms of old school and even now new school techno, that's the place to be. And you get a lot of good DJs come out of Germany. And when I say good DJs, you may have never seen them on the ARIA charts or anything, but if you dig deep enough, you'll find the good ones. That's a good, it's not a bad place to come out of. Same with Sweden, but yeah.
Well,
sorry, gents. Sorry, bro. I'm just gonna have to interrupt you, bro. I can't do this anymore, man. I'm like fucking dying. I'm fucking struggling. I'm going.
Sleep.
Thank you to everyone for joining tonight.
It's good that you joined on, man, because you said you were fucked, but it's good that you joined in. You'll be back next week if everything goes well. We've got a special guest already planned for next week, and
done. Sounds good. Everyone have a good night. Thanks, chat. Make sure you hit that
Hey,
like
Andy.
button.
Take it
And
easy.
yeah,
Legend,
Morris?
Andy.
DJs are artists. Have a good night, guys.
But on that, does it burn you?
See ya, mate.
Does it burn you like knowing your craft, right? Does it burn you when you watch socials and you see DJs and they're in front of their decks for 2 minutes just dancing, trying to get that crowd? Like,
Trying to beat their own hype, man.
yeah,
Don't get me. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, DJ should be having fun as well, because a lot of the time the
100%.
crowd will vibe off the fact that the DJ is having fun as well. You know what I mean? But the crowd will also look at a DJ and think, well, even if he's having fun, if the music's shit, well, we're not having fun. But
That's
right. I don't mind the showmanship of a DJ if I know what they're doing for the show itself is, I guess, not respectable, but they're actually doing something rather than just pressing play and then going and dancing for 3 minutes. We know that a club track is five minutes sometimes. An intro, outro, 2 minutes in between, 2.5, 3 minutes, whatever. If in that time all they've done is mix this track in, and then for the next 3 or 4 minutes, talk to the girls behind them, dance with some people, smack some shots, and then mix the next track, the beat matching is the easiest part. Anyone can mix that in 15 seconds, 10 seconds even, right? That's not hard. But if you really want to see it as an art form, during a track playing, there is so much you can do.
Yeah,
so much.
100%.
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
and I've witnessed
there's a lot of them out there are all sizzle and no steak.
100%.
And that's the society. That's what we live in now. With this social media, that's what you're seeing now.
We call it TikTok DJs.
How many times have you seen like these guys on, or girls, especially girls behind the deck, and they're not even touching the buttons. You know what I mean? It's all for show. So, but that's the society we live in. But I don't know, man. I reckon.
Rock, but you know what? In my time, like in the 90s and that, two of my favorite DJs were females. Yeah, Queen Martine and DJ Cat.
DJ Cat. Trans DJ.
Yeah.
That was the era of Papa Smurf and everybody. Yeah.
Oh, she was.
Oh no, she was after before, because she was with the Sofos and everyone.
No, DJ Cat was before Papa Smurf. So Papa Smurf is the DJ. Giovanni is the DJ that I was referencing to before. Oh, okay. I've known Giovanni for like 30 years.
Yeah, he's probably. I mean, he's basically royalty when it comes to Australian DJs, like especially obviously the trance scene, right?
Yeah.
But DJ Cat went on to, like, she used to play a lot of the residencies that I played at back in the day. One in Epping, one in Narre Warren. We just cross paths all the time. She was more of a versatile DJ, if anything. She'd play a bit of everything.
Yeah, but she was a resident at Dun.
Wait, are you talking Cat with a K, as in the Filipino-looking girl?
No.
Oh, then don't worry. Oh, hang on, wait. Short hair, boy cut. Yeah. Okay, that's a whole different Cat. No, she's basically royalty in herself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's different. Yeah, I thought, because the other one's a whole different story. Yeah.
Like I've been to clubs. Like, I was pretty big. Like going out. Like I'd go out on a Friday, come back Tuesday. Where I've seen.
You're such a player, Morris, eh?
Mate,
you are such a stud. I can imagine you in the fucking 80s, 90s there, man, going around.
We were all young and dumb once. Like, I've seen, remember Darude?
Yeah.
When he first came onto the scene, and, it was pretty big, where I saw him at Dome one night and couldn't get the crowd. Could not win the crowd.
Because he's a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, but he did like DJ'd and that. Do you know what I mean? And then there's a lot of DJs, like a DJ that I used to love, and purely it was because of the songs that he used to play, right? Like I used to love Billy Solis.
Sorry, say that again.
That name, Billy Solos.
No, I don't know who that is actually.
There you go.
So we're talking, but this is more like
it's in Laylaw.
Oh, there you go.
go.
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen her for many years, so I have no idea. But
There you go.
yeah.
How's Horatio? How you been, mate? Haven't heard from you for a while. You disappeared, mate.
Oh no, keeping a low profile after the grand final, I guess.
Very good. Yeah, because you were very, very, vocal before that. But yeah, that's fair enough. Back into it now. So how you been? Good?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, just gearing up for Christmas.
That's it. Comes quicker than you think.
Yeah, trying not to pay too much attention to all the BS that's going on out there these days.
I think we all are. But what we'll do now is, because it's coming on to 2 hours, it's been a good show, all right? But there is this new channel that's come out. Have you heard about that new channel?
I have.
Bada Bing, history class with Rocco, right? So that's come out. A story every Monday comes out this week. We were talking about this before. And this week, if you want to know the real crew and the real heist, the Goodfellas story, get onto the channel and you can hear about the real heist, about the Lufthansa heist, the biggest cash heist at the time. Yeah, so by the real Jimmy, Tommy and Henry. So get onto that. It should be good. Does everyone want to have a look at a little clip of what's it all about? Well, it doesn't matter what you think, because let's have a look at this. Hey, a crew of mob-connected wise guys walk into JFK Airport. Hey, listen, you've watched Goodfellas and you've seen the heist. Now, I'm going to tell you how it all came crashing down. It's 1978. A crew of mob-connected wise guys walk into JFK Airport in the middle of the night and walk out with the biggest cash score in US history. Over $5 million in cash and nearly $1 million in jewels. No gun battle, no alarms. No one even knew it happened until the morning shift. But within months, half the crew was dead and the money was gone, and the whole thing had become mafia legend. It was the perfect score that killed everyone. This is the tale of the Lufthansa heist. That's just a small hit about what the show's about. So get onto the channel.
That's a sampler.
I call it a teaser, just a little teaser, mate. Just get on there and you can see the story about the Lufthansa heist this week was that. So, yeah, I've been enjoying it.
I reckon it's your best one, Rocco.
It actually is. And
I reckon it was your best.
I've been working on it. I was adding like little, just little bits of, how do you say it? Like little bits of gold in the middle of it. Some sound effects, some highlights, and so just been. Listen, the whole thing is try to get better 1% every time. So I just try to make it better every single time. The way I tell the story, the way I write it, then the way I edit it. I hope everyone enjoys it. There's also shorts that come out today. The other day there was a shorts about Billy Bats. The real reason that Billy Bats got killed and who really killed him and that. So, and then if everyone knows Goodfellas, you'll understand that. And today I brought out the short about Stax Edwards. Who is Stax Edwards and why did Stax Edwards get whacked? You've got to tune in. So make sure you get onto that one there too. So been loving it. Yeah. Magpie, love the Goodfellas.
Are you going to do one of
it was very good.
You're going to do one about Casino too, Rocco?
I don't know. The reason I did the Goodfellas is because the heist was a real heist. So the Lufthansa heist was a real heist, and that's what the movie was based around, so around the Lufthansa heist. So is there one about Goodfellas? Even though Goodfellas, a lot of it's true? Is there a story in there? I don't know. I've got to look into it and see if there's a story. I mean, a lot of those characters are from real gangsters. So yeah, maybe. So it's just whatever comes in my mind. Next week is Ragnar Lothbrok. I do one on Vikings, so about the real Ragnar and about his sons who took over. Who real stories? It's a real story about the sons and that. So I'll do that one next week. So yeah. So everyone get on, like, share, subscribe. Only if you like history. If you don't do it. I don't want you to be a pretend friend. Only real friends. And if you want to join the crew, get on there, and you'll get plenty of heists and plenty of stories and plenty of good times. So make sure also the Facebook page. Jump onto that. I've got my own Facebook page, and I do daily history hits. Yesterday was about. Did you know that Napoleon really wasn't that short? It was only. It was something that was made up by the British just to make him look bad. He was 5'6", which was pretty normal for those days for a Frenchman. So it was a rumor that the French brought out. Did you know that? Well, if you go onto Facebook and the Bada Bing page, you will find those sort of facts and many more.
Everything leads to a plug. It's like, did you know this? Well,
Well, apparently,
I hope you enjoyed anyway. So I hope you enjoy my little stories.
allegedly,
they've been good. Man.
Napoleon he used to keep his hand in his coat. His right hand in his coat, or was it left hand in his coat all the time? Apparently, that was because he suffered from indigestion.
I don't know. Is it?
Well, yeah. So there you go. A little bit of history on that. Used to have issues with his. Used to have problems with his stomach, so we used to keep his hand in there. So there you go. A little bit of history on that.
We're all a little bit of our history buffs here. I'll give you another one that came out today. I've got to look up his name, but did you know King Louis the 14th, right? Hated violence at the dinner table, so he literally banned pointy knives because he hated people stabbing their meat. And he was worried that people kept stabbing the people around them. So he banned pointy knives, and that's how we got the butter knife.
Wow. There you go.
This is what I mean. I mean, if you thought that was fucking interesting, right? Jump onto the page and you get your daily hit.
Hey, let me tell you. You want to talk about
Bada
short
bing.
people? My mate just jumped into the chat here. Rebs,
yeah.
Yeah.
Rebs.
Do you know what height he is?
I am taller than Napoleon. Take that, you snail eating dog. What's that? Napoleon was 5'6". Apparently, it was like the normal height those days.
5'6". My mate is 4'10".
No way. Who this bloke?
Rebs 4'10".
You short ass.
Insane.
That
Yeah,
14.
No, he's not. I'm joking.
I was gonna say, man.
I was just taking a piss out of him.
We got
4
Rocco
foot 10.
Moro. He's a big fan of my channel. I've learned more from Bada Bing than I ever learned at school. There you go, mate. There you go. What else do you want in life?
Did you know?
Just try. So
My mate's 4'1".
Legitimately.
And he can't have showers. He can't have a shower.
Why? He drowned.
Because it's like torrential rain for him.
I'm with Rebs here. I'm actually 4'10", lying on my back.
He's on a high. He just watched Raw.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, and not Eddie Murphy.
Hey, Rock, I don't know if you're interested in this kind of stuff.
It depends.
But it's a little bit of the conspiracy world in the music industry, right? But delve into like Chris Cornell and Chester on their deaths. And
I will.
You're referring to their links to exposing a certain
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Have a look at
apparently,
the documentary that they were bringing out.
Smaller than Sweden.
Very
there's a
interesting.
few interesting things linked to that. A few interesting people that are no longer with us that will link to that thing.
Art. Do we call it an
well,
art?
Well, looking into these things, you do find out a lot of interesting things. So yeah, so it's been good. Yeah, I've been doing. I'll look into that. I've been looking into some music people that I'm going to be doing it on. You know what I mean? So there's a few on the horizon. But yeah, it's been fun. Get on there. This has been a really good show. I hope everyone's enjoyed it. It's been fun. We had a good, Morris. That was a good discussion you brought up about music, but you're wrong. But it was a good discussion.
Wrong.
Mate, you've been wrong. If you watch, see, now I know who watches my show, because if you know what wrong is, you know exactly what I do in my little videos.
All I'll say, I kind of grew up. I'm from the north too, right? And I went to a lot of I went to a lot of parties like around Rocco's area when I was younger.
You wouldn't have come to the parties where I went to, because we would have beaten the shit out of you.
Me, pup, please.
If you come to our parties, we would have sat on you, bro. Come on, mate. I don't think you're allowed in Reservoir.
Nah?
No way.
Okay.
You would have gone to those bloody... There's no way we would have let you into the Reservoir parties.
I reckon you used to kiss my mates' asses in Reservoir.
Oh, yeah, I'll kiss your ass when you come here next time.
All right, nobody clip that for the love of shit. Please.
Yeah, but
yeah, you went to parties, yeah.
You went to parties.
No, I was just gonna say that they will do shit parties because of the DJ.
Everyone's been to a shit party with a shit DJ.
Oh
no, because Rocco said that he DJ'd all the parties.
Oh, right,
Reservoir and all of that.
I'm telling you, man. Like you could. They were probably shit, but everyone had a good time. But I'll tell you what, between 85 and about, I'd say 90. Like it was about a 5-year block that me and my mate Tony, and he's been on the show. Man, we used to. We had a ball, man. DJing was the best those days, man. And we were the life of the parties, man. You know how it is, Bo. When you're the DJ, man, at a party, you're the life of the party, man. So yeah, it was good times. It was good times.
I'm not going to go into it too much because we have another time we can do that. But
yeah,
it's been a dramatic shift. Back in the day when I first started, yeah, they cared who the DJ was. If you weren't a big name and you just went to the pub or you just went to a club, the DJ was stashed away in the corner in a booth playing the music. And people just used to love dancing and being in each other's company. And your eyes were focused on the dance floor or some bird that's walking past, right? Now you look at clubs and and the DJ's on a stage directly in the middle of the thing and they are the forefront. It's like you're watching a band now, right? So it's dramatically changed as to what people are there to see and enjoy. Yeah, I mean, we can go into it another time, but the whole phones thing is really annoying as well. But I mean, each to their own.
I was going to bring that up.
Each to their own. You can't stop it, but it says a lot about where the culture's at in terms of clubbing. But another time, it's all good.
The whole thing, the whole scene's completely changed now from when we were kids. It's always changed, man, and of course, man, it's always going to change. But anyway, let's move on. Horatio, thanks for joining us. What were you going to say?
No, I was going to say, just on the subject of the focus, I happened to come across a really interesting video. Again, probably a topic for another conversation. But like, when you go to a club, now I was never a big clubber, but even, as a guy who wasn't really, I was more of a pubs kind of guy than a clubs kind of guy. The girls are always, they were always the ones up there dancing, right? And sort of, doing their thing. Now you see these videos where it's the guys up there doing it. That's completely flip-flopped.
Well, I'm going to say now, when I went out, I was the first one dancing, and I've always been the first one dancing because I always wanted to get up there. I was never afraid to dance, man. Always had the theory where I don't care what people think. I want to get out there and have a good time. And I noticed that if you go out there and have a good time, guess what? The girls, they like having a good time too, man. So they don't want to see the bloke sitting in the corner there, man. They want to be out there having some good time. So, yeah, but, yeah, in the 80s and that, I don't know what era you were talking about, Horatio, but in the 80s and that, we had the moves, the guys.
What was your signature move, bro? Show everyone your signature move.
No, not now, man. Now I can't show my signature move now. If I do that, I'm scared that like girls will come from all directions. Then what? Then my missus is going to get upset. All for what? Because I had to show you my move. I can't. Maybe at the next Remix Mania.
Rocco's got weapons grade moves, so handle with care.
Oh my god! Well, for the record, Rebs, the guy in the chat, that's who I run the event with.
Oh, is it?
That's
was
the
he
guy
at
that
the
used to
last
would have.
one?
Yeah, the first time we were there, the guy I was DJing with.
Okay, so I did meet him.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Rebs, all right, Rebs.
There you go.
You were a short ass. You're right.
I know. Wait, without going into too much detail because you want to save it for another night.
Yeah.
What's probably what's a good story to tell from one of your?
Oh my god! I'm trying to cut this off, and you're starting with a brand new story. Let's have a brand new story. Wait,
Morris.
We'll save it for another night.
We definitely have a chance for me to go through this, and it's not too far away. So
I might not wake up tomorrow, and you might turn around and say, "Fuck, I never got that opportunity to tell Morris."
No, I would. Now I'm going to feel shit tomorrow.
That's it. All right, Horatio. Thanks for joining us, bro. I appreciate that, man. And good luck to your cats. And we'll speak to you next time. Make sure you jump on next time.
I will. Thank you.
Thanks, brother. See you, mate. To the other crew, I hope this has been a good night. I hope everyone. Yeah, this has been good. Love it. How to pick up chicks tips by Enzo. I reckon you were a fucking stud muffin too, mate. Don't you worry about that.
Enzo mentioned earlier on about DJ Pellegrini.
Pellegrini. Well, Pellegrini. I used to know Pellegrini.
And he still DJs.
He's still DJ Pellegrini. Yeah.
And he does a couple of nights. He does. I know he does one every month. He does something in different variety. Events.
I see him on socials and that. Yeah, you're right too. He's been around. Well, he was DJing when I was DJing, and he was the king of DJs when I was DJing. Like everyone knew Mark Pellegrini, and here he is, like Mark Pellegrini.
I think the last one I went to was at the Tok H that he did about 3 months ago. It was 3 months ago, and it was dedicated towards George Michael. And and I'll tell you what, it was a great night. But it's funny because you rock up and all of a sudden, you're going to a nightclub and you've got every single person that's around there is roughly your age. And, and all of a sudden, you go clubbing and you'd see all these young ladies that were dancing on the podium. And you're seeing all these older, mature ladies dancing on the podium. And you think to yourself, fuck, times have changed, but it was good. It was fun.
Hey, there was what was it? Was it who just had the 47th birthday?
Chasers.
The nightclub. I saw that Chasers?
Chasers or Zoff, whatever you want. Yeah.
No, Chase.
Yeah.
Was it
Yeah,
Chasers?
Chasers.
I know that Peter V went there. What was it, Peter V? Chasers,
Yeah,
yes.
Chasers.
He was there. Yeah, they just had the 47th birthday, mate. Chasers was a big nightclub, man. I used to love Chasers. Yeah, 47 years, man. Jesus Christ.
I'll give you.
What night did you go?
Here's a little
What night did you
fun
used
fact
to go
for
to
you.
Chasers?
Oh, sure.
The Chasers, I think Friday nights we used to go down to Chasers.
Yeah, so we were a Sunday night.
You were a Sunday.
So I'll give you
Now-
a fun fact about Chasers.
Tell me.
Or unless you guys know the fun fact, do you know which film was or which movie was filmed there?
Yeah, one boy.
Oh,
Hey, there we go. Beautiful.
was it?
The first
What
one.
was the film?
First one. The Wog Boy.
No,
first one.
there you go.
Well, I'll tell you a little bit of history about Chasers.
Here we
Chasers
go.
Chasers nightclub came out with, the little medallion that had, they got that symbol on top of their.
Yeah.
Well, they had a medallion. They had a medallion
I
that
got
was shaped
three
like
of
that. What's that?
I've got one.
I got
Okay.
three.
All
Yeah,
right.
the
Now,
medallion. Yeah.
now- before that, they came out with a membership. What was the membership they had?
Why am I not?
Don't
Now
know.
I'm
not-
going back now. I'm showing my age.
This is before my
What years
time.
are we talking?
We're talking about early 80s.
Yeah.
Nah.
A passport. It
No
had
way.
it had basically had your face on it, and it had the nightclub stamp in it, and you basically would use that as a form of membership to come in.
That's cool.
There
That's a
you
great
go.
idea.
Hmm.
That's a ripper
So there you
idea.
go. There you
Actually,
go.
I do have some Mark Pellegrini stories lined up for when we have a chat as well.
All right,
so-
when you come on. Mark Pellegrini was fucking huge and he's still doing well. But when I was, like our age in our teens and that, he was huge, Mark Pellegrini. Yeah.
He still runs a Latin night now. I've played at that a couple
Yeah.
of times for him.
Yeah.
A couple New Years ago, I played for him on New Year's. He anyway. I'll save the story. He's an absolute legend. Let's just leave it at that.
We'll save the story for another day.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for joining. Everyone in the chat, make sure you push the like and subscribe. Keep an eye on TJP because plenty of emergency meetings. There might be another one tomorrow after the draft. And there might, or maybe who knows? Today was a quick emergency meeting, and as soon as there's any news, we'll jump on. Next week, Unfiltered, we'll be back live. We've got a special. I think we might have 2 special guests next week, just quietly. We'll announce that in a later date. What else is there? Bada bing. Make sure you catch on, like, subscribe, share it if you like it. What else is there? Anyone else doing anything? Oh, make sure you catch Bo's little Instagram. What is your handle? What's the handle?
I'm gonna change my name, and people can just look at the screen. There you go. Back to how it used to be. It's exactly that on Instagram.
Bocheck. Make sure you catch Bocheck's little snippets because they're fucking gold, mate. They are gold, man. You're doing such a good job, man. They make me laugh every single time, man. So make sure you get onto there, subscribe.
I think there was a place in Collingwood that had the name Bada Bing from memory there, Rocco.
Maybe there's a
No, that
place
was-
also.
That's the pill.
No, it was a
Could have
place
been,
on
could have been. I didn't. I'm not like Nick
on Johnson
did
Street.
Indianapolis. I won't copyright the fucking name like wow.
uh,
No
Right?
shit.
Yeah,
I didn't
Johnson
come
Street,
up with the
Collingwood.
name. I just thought it'd be a good name to put
Yeah.
on my channel.
Bada Bing. Or actually,
Yeah.
I think that's called Bada Bing Bada Boom. So that's
Well,
Nah,
That's what the original is. That's from The Sopranos. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bing, a bit of bada bing,
no, but
bada boom. You know.
that's what the strip club was called in the Sopranos.
Yeah, the
Bada
strip
bing.
club was called the Bada
Yeah.
Bing, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, it was called the Bada Bing. So plenty of good times. All right, everyone, thanks for joining. Make sure you check out all our stuff. We'll be back soon enough, I'm sure. And I haven't actually got an outro because we bloody did it, so I'm just going to end the stream. Thanks for coming. Bada bing, bada boom.
Go Blue.